Shattering Glass Chapter 4. I didn't talk about it then. I don't talk about it now. What's 5 years? I won't be talking about it in 25 years. What happens to young now happens. I'm not involved. Bob DeMarco. Coop, Bobster, and I met Rob in the Commons the next morning. Doors on the west side were open, and the nutritionally obsessed got orange juice, granola, and fruit. Most of us stocked up on cinnamon rolls, ho-hos, and cokes. Loungers and crammers crowded the long tables. Bobster shepherded Coop through the intricacies of an algebra assignment. Rob sat behind two packages of powdered donuts. He flipped one package on its end, flipped it again while he eyed the glass front doors and chatted up the passers-by. Sighting his prey, he strode across the commons without a word. Simon Glass shifted from one foot to the other next to the barriers that closed off the corridors until the first bell. Rob said something to Glass, who looked back at us and shook his head. Rob grinned, spoke again, placed his hand on Simon's shoulder, and guided him through the maze of tables. Few disguised their stares. When they arrived at the table, Rob pulled out a chair across from Bob, Coop, and me and gave Simon a nudge. Glass thumped down, holding himself crunched together and shifting his eyes to see if anyone was watching. Rob straddled a chair backward and pushed a package of the donuts to Simon. Bob and Coop paused in their pursuit of algebra to watch. I browsed my lit text as if uninterested. Rana Perry was two tables over. She wasn't looking, but she might start. Consider this a power breakfast, Rob said, popping the cellophane on his package of donuts. Simon reached for the donuts, then hesitated. What's the deal, Rob? You just woke up this morning and decided Simon Glass was your best buddy? Settle down, Simon, Rob said, surprised that Simon had any punch in him. Nobody's going to do anything to you. He smiled, warm and welcoming, and twirled a sugary donut on the end of his index finger. Like I said yesterday, you're smarter than they know. Simon swiped at his nose. Simon, you can't let them treat you like the class goat anymore. Your days of being a mook are numbered. Right, Rob. Rob leaned forward. His voice dropped to a smooth whisper. Don't ever doubt me, Glass. He slid the donuts closer to Glass. When Rob smiled, Simon was dazzled by the light. He was human after all. Now, do you want that? Glass looked at each of us in turn, then back at Rob. He put one finger on the package of donuts and eased in. His wheezy voice barely escaped his lips. Maybe I do. Rob slapped the table and stood. Let's go someplace private. Wait. Simon was still hunched, the donuts now in his hands. What's in this for you? Rob aimed his index finger at Simon. The sugary donut remained impaled. He cocked his thumb like a pistol hammer and pushed it down. It hit the donut, shearing through one side. Sugar exploded and the donut dropped onto the tabletop. The pieces rolled toward Simon. Satisfaction, Rob said. He blew on his finger as if he'd fired a gun.